So the two-story context I'm going to talk about today is the leadership difference between the Southeastern softball team last year and this year. As many of you know, if you have watched my Meet the Class video, I play softball for Southeastern, and I've been here for 5 years. It's a really long time, so I've really gone through all the different leadership steps. I've seen 3 different coaches, people come in and out, seniors leave, juniors leave, freshmen leave that I came in with. So over the years, everything has changed, the culture has changed, and the amount of leadership and things that I've learned from these experiences it was a lot. And this year it really all kind of clicked into place. Being in a leadership position myself, being one of the oldest on the team, I've been here the longest. I know a lot about what goes on in the inner workings of the team, which naturally put me into that position. So I would say my freshman year I came in, I think there was 8 or 9 of us that stayed. We stayed for a long time, which is a lot of new people on a softball team. If you guys don't know, we usually have like around 20, 21, not that many. So having like 10 new people on the team, that's half the team that's new. It's a whole different culture that we're creating. Being the introvert and freshman that I was, I didn't put myself in a leadership position. I didn't want to exert myself. I didn't want to be center of attention or take control. It's not my personality, first of all. Second of all, if you were an underclass, you know what it's like to first come into college, and it's scary, and everybody's older than you, and they know what's going on, and you're lost, and it's a culture shock to come in. So I didn't necessarily put myself in that role at all. But some of the other girls on the team that were new had to step up and take that role because there were so many new people. And over the years, I've gotten to see the different traits and everything, and what should change, and the details that they might have not paid attention to all the time that could have made the team so much better, or the community and the team so much better. So I've gotten to learn a lot, but this year is completely different. We have an entire new team again. It's like recycled. So we lost 10 new girls last year, and I think we got 11 this year. So like over half our team is new. It just creates a whole different culture. But this year I had the opportunity to be in a leadership position because I've been here so long. So I've really been proactive or trying to change the culture, not just for this year, but a sustained leadership culture that we've never had before, because we've never had strong leaders on the team. So trying to create an environment where something lasts. So going back to the years prior, since it was mainly just extroverts, the loud people, the controlling people that wanted to get their way, that were in the leadership positions, they mainly took control. I don't want to call it micromanagement, but it was very much in a management instead of a leadership position, which was not what was healthy for the team at the time. Very much they got to decide things. There was no delegation. There was no deciding as a team. It was they chose the dates, the times, the plays, the uniforms, everything. And it's a lot of little small things that aren't meaningful at the time, but over the amount of time, I believe it can hurt our team. So coming in, it was very intimidating for an underclassman to be like that. And this year, we really tried to change it around, being a lot more proactive, which I believe is a huge thing in leadership. Leadership should never be reactive. You should never be thrust into the position because nobody is taking control and you have no idea what you're doing. That should always be something in the forefront of your mind as a leader. What can you do to help your team? What can you do to make them better, to make them leaders themselves? Because I believe that the whole essence of leadership is to create other leaders. Otherwise, it'd be called management, and we'd be taking business management. So that being said, this year we have really tried to ask more questions, give like the underclassmen and even the people that are not in a position of leadership more say in what we do. We ask, hey, if we have these few times that would be good for you guys for weights or lifting or events, like which time would work best for you with your class schedule? What would you guys like to wear? And just kind of making more of a community out of it instead of a dictatorship with the leadership. And it has changed the entire program completely. People get along well, there's no divide between the upperclassmen and the lowerclassmen. Everybody's friends, everybody hangs out. We don't have a lot of cliques on the team anymore. It's just a very open concept with the team. And it's helped our play tremendously. We're all best friends. Everybody laughs all the time. It's a really good time, and we have become that much closer. One of the reasons being specifically the leadership on the team this year has changed for the better, and it has created a new culture, hopefully that stays throughout the entire program, where leadership is not about management or control, but it's about sharing and delegating tasks and asking questions and listening, which is what I think we're missing. So it was a pretty big culture shock at first, just being on a new team, being put in a leadership position, really without a choice, being the oldest, and with all the old people gone. The intimidation wasn't there when I first came in. That like instinct to like follow, and because that's just what I've done for so many years, that wasn't there, and it was just a clean slate, and it was just like an opportunity that God was basically saying, this is for, like, this is yours, this is your leadership, this is your team, you know, do what I'm telling you to do. So that's mine. This is a long video, I apologize. So I wrote down a few things from the video, the context and intelligence or whatever, and I think mainly I talked about being proactive, which is one of the main things, because it talks about reacting to the world's organization or complex or anything. I think that's what we did. We saw it as an organization, and this is what's working, this isn't what working. We reacted from what that we saw before. But also I think something that's very important in this specific one is being proactive in reacting. You know, not waiting for everything to just hit you in the face and decide what you're going to do next, but going out there and creating steps and goals for the team, not only the team, but the leadership team, for you to succeed in the goals that you made for the team as a whole. Another thing that I think I've had to use a lot this year's experience. Like I said, I've been here for 5 years. I've seen 3 different coaches, which is more than anybody else. I've been here longer than my current coach. So I know the program better than almost anybody in the field. And just being that person, I've had to relay a lot of experiences, a lot of softball knowledge, Southeastern knowledge, and our conference knowledge on to everybody on the field. So being able to look at my experiences and kind of share them in certain contexts on the field that helps the team as a whole has been something that I've really learned to do and like step into. And something that I think I not neglected to do, but I just don't see it as much, would be the tacit awareness, I believe. Like the things that we know to be true, but we don't know the origin of them. That's what the video explained. I feel like I'm much more proactive in thinking about it, like being self-aware and aware of the leadership on the team. So I feel like I just know I don't use that as much, maybe. Or maybe I just don't recognize it. That could be true too. But yeah, those are my 2 contexts. So thanks.